Things can coexist. I believe that with every fiber of my being, things can coexist. Things that are ultimately contradictory can coexist as well. I wouldn't call myself the most religious person. I'm very spiritual, but religion is something I don't want to conform my whole life towards, because I have my own set of values and beliefs, and they are contradictory with what, let's say, the Bible would say, like basta about other stuff, about LGBTQ rights, and like I'm a firm believer in that you can be whoever you want to be, and that I would still love you as God has loved me. And that's what he's planned, that's what he's called us to do. It's to love others the way that he loves us, no matter who you are, I believe. And who am I to tell someone to be something else? And so, yeah, that's kind of a contradiction, because it's in the Bible that, you go to hell if you're gay or whatever. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that things can coexist. You can be a good person and do bad things. You can be a bad person and do good things. Is there even a such a thing as good and bad, just good and bad? There's so much middle ground, and I think that's where life happens. And as someone who's so self-critical and overthinking of everything, when one mistake feels like the end of the world for me, I think it's okay to take it easy, you know. That doesn't mean just do whatever you want. That doesn't mean just break all of the rules of society and life, but take it easy on yourself. That you don't have to have the weight of the world and be perfect all the time, because that's impossible. And if perfection is what you're after, then you're gonna miss out so much of the process of being human. You're gonna miss out so much. You're gonna miss out on so much of what it means to just be. You know, you don't have to be. I think the reason why I'm like this is because when I was a kid or a child or a baby, I kind of grew up with the idea that I had to be a certain way in order to feel loved, which isn't what it's supposed to feel like. Love is supposed to be free, freely given and freely received, but when you grow up feeling like love has to be worked for, then you're never gonna stop hating yourself if you don't get it, right? You're always gonna, what you don't heal as a kid, you build as an adult. And now that I'm going into my adult years, I've been very self-reflective on the ways that I was as a kid. I had to be an entertainer. I had to make people laugh. I had to please people. I had to, I couldn't. I grew up in a very volatile household, and so it was always yeah, 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 yeah. And so if I made one wrong mistake, it would be like the end for me. And I guess now that I'm an adult or adulting, it still feels like that. One wrong mistake and boom, the world is over, or the world is gonna crumble upon my shoulders. I can't, like, I used to be so critical about my weight because I got bullied when I was fat, and so if I overate, I would hate myself. If I ate a little too much sweets, or ate at a time where I wasn't supposed to be eating, I hated myself. Binge eating became, and the thing I realized is that the more you resist something, the more it comes, the harder it comes at you, actually. And so the more you resist your desires, the more they persist. And maybe it's the way that you see things that are harmful and not the things itself. And so that's why there's a lot of, right now in this season, I'm very curious about religious guilt and perspective. And I think it's so easy to just be kind of secular and just have your own opinions and just do whatever you want because there's no rules to that. But I think it's brave and it's worth it to have a set of beliefs, even if it's not the same as what religion says, at least your own beliefs. Because that's also important, that you have to question. You can't just follow everything that is being served to you, because would that even be real belief or just learned helplessness or something? So I think it's important and it's brave to have your own beliefs and to stick to those beliefs, even if the whole world around you tells you otherwise, even if institutions tell you otherwise. It's important to think for yourself and to be for yourself and to learn that sometimes the patterns that you are enacting in your day-to-day life comes from a deeper unhealed root. And once you get to that root, you can start to heal. And healing is a long, arduous process, my friends. Healing is not a 1 week vacation and you're okay. Healing is every day. Healing is going back to the things that hurt you. And healing is sometimes looking yourself in the eyes and just, telling yourself all the things you wish you heard. Giving yourself grace, taking it easy, because you know that it will be okay and that you're not messed up, you're not broken, you're not depressed, you're just having a bad day, or a bad week, or a bad month, or a bad season. Life goes in seasons. And just like every season, it will pass. So for future and whatever you're going through, it will pass. Love is the answer. It is also the destination, and it is the way. So be strong, but also be weak. And be okay with that, because it will pass. And one day you will pass away as well. And what's important to those things that you leave behind is if there was love. And if the answer is yes, then you're doing okay. That's it.